Well, goddamn. Forget the intro, boys. The patch notes are here for update 4.5, so let's talk about it. Now, I knew my day was going far too good. Pulling a premium comic card from a World Boss Ultimate booty box and finding out that after a year of begging and pleading, we are finally getting a new game mode for Marvel Future Fight. Nah, the gods don't work like that, okay? And after reviewing these patch notes, I see the light. My day was going far too good, boys. And I gotta say, man, I'm very, very disappointed in the approach that Netmarble chose to go with for this update. Very, very disappointed. First of all, this is a much smaller update than a lot of us anticipated. Some of us were expecting at least 4 or 5 characters. We're only getting 3. We're getting Gambit, Nightcrawler, and Sentinel. And while I'm very, very, very excited because I love Gambit and Nightcrawler, I'm very disappointed because Netmarble was only giving us 3 characters. And they chose to make all 3 of these characters paywall. Now, you guys already know, if you've been following me for a while, I don't have a problem paying for stuff, right? I don't have a problem paying for what I want, but I think this is a pretty shady thing for Netmarble to do. 3 characters and making all 3 of them paywall? The past few months, it's just been more. Premium characters left, right, and center. Oh my goodness. And now they're just bringing in full updates of just full paywall. This to me is just a get-rich-quick scheme from Netmarble. I'm very disappointed. But the silver lining here, guys, is based on what I saw from the live stream today, none of these 3 characters seem like they're gonna break the game or take it over by any means. Looking forward to playing with all 3 of them. I will definitely be picking them up, but you don't have to be breaking the bank for them if you can't afford the characters. None of them look like they're going to dominate and crush all of the other characters in the game. Still very, very, very disappointed with the way that Netmarble chose to bring these characters in. Same goes for the uniforms though. All of these uniforms, all 4 of them, in my opinion, are really not that good. They don't wow me. They really don't. Only 2 skill changes a piece. Very disappointed. Feels pretty lazy. Aesthetically speaking, all 7 of these characters look freaking awesome. That's the one front that Netmarble almost never disappoints. Okay, visually speaking, they always pull through. However, their methods in terms of getting money out of the player base is oftentimes very, very shady. And I think this is pretty disgusting, man. The mutants have always been a get-rich-quick scheme from Netmarble. This is just a clear sign that they plan to make as much money as possible every single time they bring mutants to the game. So, boys, I'm sorry, man. It's a full paywall update. I wanted to address it right off the bat. Still, I'm very excited that we are getting a giant boss raid. Hope it's challenging, and I hope the rewards are consistent, and I hope they are good. From what we saw from the live stream, you can get CTPs and some other new items from this boss raid. How often that is going to be the case remains to be seen. If it's pretty consistent and the challenge is there, I will be very happy with this. It's unfortunate that it took a full paywall update for us to get a new game mode. But if I have to pay to get more game modes, I guess I'm gonna have to pay. Pretty sad about it, but what are you gonna do, guys? What are you gonna do? This type enhancement thing I think is a pretty cool feature, but I feel like it's just another way for Netmarble to sell some more items to make some more money. So these 3 new characters, I'm not even gonna go into detail about them. Honestly, based on what I saw from the live stream, I'm pretty underwhelmed by Gambit's skill set, honestly. But I like the fact that he has a couple really good skill bonuses. On the 5th right here on the straight flush, this looks pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to using that. Overall, though, I think from the new characters, I'm more fascinated by Nightcrawler because of the fact that he has multiple skills that allows him to summon his little BAMS buddy. So I'm really looking forward to that, man. I'm really looking forward to playing with Nightcrawler. Kind of disappointed that I'm not feeling that way about Gambit. Sentinel also looks like he's going to be a pretty freaking awesome character to play with. How strong he will be in the PvP scene remains to be seen. And the reason why I say that is because his leadership, as you can see, it's a debuff removal PvP type leadership. So it remains to be seen how he's actually going to do in PvP. Still looking forward to that though. Don't really see it being that big of a deal. Also, Magneto, my guy, getting his tier 3. His uniform bonus, I'm very disappointed in that because the only machine types in the game that are relevant right now are actually War Machine, Iron Man, and I guess when Sentinel comes in, he's going to be pretty relevant for a little while as well. So kind of disappointed that that's what he got, but it kind of makes sense because Magneto controls metals and machines are at his mercy basically all the time, right? So I kind of get it what they were going for. Very, very disappointed, however, in Emma Frost's uniform bonus. I can't lie. Incapacitation as a uniform bonus is basically useless because there's plenty of characters who have that on their skills and it basically makes no difference, okay? And here we are, X23. I have no clue what they were trying to do with this all debuff effect increased by 20%. I have no clue because the only debuff that she has is bleed. 20% more bleed. Bleed that is not relevant in the game at all. Yeah, honestly, I'm very disappointed in her uniform. I'm gonna pick it up because I like her X-Force uniform, but I still think it's pretty disappointed. I can't lie. Angel, the cheapest uniform from this update, only giving him some poison damage. Honestly, poison damage is not relevant in this game. The only characters that use poison damage that I can think of off the top of my head is actually Lizard and Green Goblin, and neither one of them are relevant. So I'm kind of sad that this is what they decided to give my boy Angel. I was really looking forward to this Archangel uniform, and for it to be such a disappointment right off the bat is just pretty sad for me because he's only getting 2 skill changes. But I guess I can hope that the 2 skill changes give him a ton of damage. We're getting 7 characters that can go to level 70, basically all the characters that are part of this update. To be honest, I'm not really looking forward to pushing anybody besides Magneto and Angel, maybe Emma Frost to level 70, but we'll see. Maybe I'll push Nightcrawler as well. Magneto's tier 3 skill, which is a mixture of Deadpool's 6 skill and his 4 skill for that 1 second paralysis. I love the freaking animation for this skill, so it's one that I'm definitely going to be using quite often. Definitely going to get Magneto to tier 3 as my first blast character for sure. Sorry, Iron Man, you're really not that good for me. Magneto, even though your uniform is a bit underwhelming, I hope this tier 3 skill makes up for that. Next up is this new game mode, the thing that I am the most hyped for, guys. And I hope that these rewards right here actually change over time and we see like CTPs of energy, destruction, authority, that kind of stuff in here, and it's not just refinement all the time, because in my opinion refinement is the weakest CTP, right? So hopefully they're not just giving out refinement left and right and not giving us an opportunity to battle for the other CTPs. Looking forward to this game mode though, looking forward to finally be able to play something challenging with my alliance members. Also, I'm probably going to be recruiting for my alliance, so if you want to join us, join the brotherhood, guys, send an application. Looking forward to this game mode though, for sure. It's been a long time coming. So this is just talking about the fact that you can play publicly. You can just search like you would in World Boss Invasion and then join a random lobby, or you can invite your friends from your lines and play with them privately. I would highly recommend you do that because it's probably going to be less stressful that way, because from what we saw in the live stream, it's pretty challenging, right? So it's not going to be another World Boss Invasion type of thing. Really looking forward to seeing how this freaking right here, the type advancement thing, works and what the RNG factor is like, because there's a lot of RNG behind it because there's a chance to fail. And unlike with realizing your potential, you don't keep half of anything. It looks like you either succeed or fail, right? I'm looking forward to this, and this is actually going to be a really, really good way to make it so that you do a ton more damage to the opposite type in the game. I'm looking forward to this, man. Really looking forward to it. I know some of you guys are probably not going to be a fan of it, but I think it's pretty cool. It's another way you can customize your character and make them a little bit differently than everybody else, right? So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and I hope that these materials don't get sold in the shop, but I think that might be open for too much, right? Hoping it's just a draw from beating the world bosses. This right here, I think, is a really good way for new players to get some gold. I know some of you guys will be like, oh, this is another way for them to scam us for crystals. If you feel that way, you don't have to buy it. It's personally never going to be available for me because I always have more than 1 million gold, right? That's just me. I've been playing for a long time. I have a pretty developed roster. Some of you guys, though, you're always low on gold. So 2 million gold for 500 crystals, it's completely up to you whether or not you think that crystal cost is worth it to you. I'm not sure why they decided to make this a thing. I thought autoplay could always be turned on and off while you were playing, so I don't understand that at all. But that's just me. Maybe that's something new to you guys. Now, this little feature here, I'm not even sure this was needed. You don't need to see who sent it or who you're giving it to. I personally just, whenever I see it, if I have the stuff, I'll just give it. If I don't have it, I just keep it moving, you know? That kind of thing. I think this little prompt here is decent, I guess. It shows newer players that, hey, if you use a ticket, you're guaranteed to get a route. It's whatever. I like this feature, though. Putting the uniform that you have equipped at the top is definitely useful. I like that. Now, this right here, I think this is a pretty cool feature. It allows you to replay the tier 3 animation when you get to tier 3 the first time, and I think that's pretty cool. Next up here is the World Boss Ultimate Booty Boxes. Finally, you can see what's inside the boxes. I hope they will at some point show the percent value for each individual box. So like the normal white boxes, what's the percent chance to get like a CTP? And then like a mythic box, what's the percent chance to get a CTP? You know what I mean? It would be really cool if they just added the percent value on the items. But I guess then people would start complaining saying, hey, if it's only a 20% chance, why am I not getting it if I've opened like 50 of these things, right? Next up is the shop right here. They're just showing you when you're selecting a character's biometrics, what their gears look like and that kind of stuff. I think that's pretty cool. All of this stuff right here is basically just for new players. There's a whole bunch of fixes down here. But I want to hear what you guys think, man. Personally, I'm happy that we're finally getting a new game mode for Marvel Future Fight, but I'm very sad that this is what it took for us to get a new game mode, a full paywall update with uniforms that are very, very underwhelming. And I say that because we know that when Netmarble wants to make good uniforms, they can make good uniforms. Take a look at Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. We got so many uniforms. I believe, what, 15 uniforms? And the only bad one in that was Groot, Teenage Groot, right? That's the only bad uniform in that entire thing. So the fact of the matter is, if the mutants make them so much money, why is it that they only bothered to give them 2 skill changes apiece? Like, I don't understand. Do they plan to make new uniforms for these characters later on down the line? And they're like, yo, let's not change too much right now because we still want to sell another uniform or 2 for all of these characters, especially Magneto. They can sell probably like 3 or 4 or 5 Magneto uniforms and people will buy them like hotcakes, right? So I don't know if that's what their mindset is like. But if that's the case, that's pretty disgusting. I can't lie, man. 2 skill changes a piece. They could have at least gave them 3 a piece. Honestly, especially X-23, she needed it the most. She needed 5 new skills because the tracking on her skills are freaking garbage and her damage is so low. But a uniform bonus, since it gives her 20% increase to physical attack, I guess that may make up for her really low damage, right? So yeah, 20%, oh sorry, it's 25%. It may make up for her low damage. So yeah, anyways boys, that's it for this one, man. Just wanted to share my thoughts, a bit of a rant on this patch note. I'm happy, it's a bittersweet moment, you know, happy for the new game mode, looking forward to the challenge, but at the same time I'm just pretty sad that yeah, every single character in this update is basically premium.